Welcome, dear wanderers of stone and story, to the Churchyard of St Mary's, Sandbach. A place where the past lingers, like morning mist among the yews, and every stone has a whisper, if you pause long enough to listen. At first glance, St Mary's presents itself with the quiet dignity of many an English parish church. But look again. You'll soon see it has its own curious character. The most striking feature is the arched bell tower. Not the usual square block rising stubbornly from the nave, but a kind of open Gothic arch, graceful and unusual. It feels almost like a great stone gateway, not just for the ringing of bells, but perhaps for the souls passing between this world and the next. The present church has its roots in the Middle Ages, although the site itself is thought to have been sacred ground long before that. Beside the fabric of the church walls, you'll find traces of a far older faith. Early medieval stone fragments, carved with interlacing patterns and worn figures, are tucked beside the masonry here. Broken survivors of an age when Christianity was still new in the land. Symbols were half heathen and half holy. Just imagine them in their original form. Once tall crosses or grave slabs, later broken, moved and reused, yet never quite silenced. They remain here, quiet witness of a forgotten century. The graveyard itself is a patchwork of history. A quilt of lichen, moss, and names fading with the centuries. Many of the stones date back to the 1600s. Their inscriptions soften by time until they read almost like poetry in erosion. Most lay flat on the ground, half hidden under a carpet of mosses and fallen leaves. You'll find slabs and headstones of every manner, grand table tombs for the wealthy, modest markers for the ordinary folk, row upon row of parish dead, their stories long since slipped from living memory. Unlike some churchyards, there's a noticeable absence here. You'll see no skulls, no crossbones, no winged hourglasses, none of the classic memento mori so beloved of myself and the 17th and 18th centuries. Perhaps the masons of Sandbach were less macabre, or perhaps the parish preferred plain dignity over grim reminders of mortality. Yet even without them, the stones themselves stand quietly. Their lives once lived, days once counted, names once spoken aloud. Then there's the sundial, a curious thing. Its base is in fact the remains of an ancient stone cross, one of countless medieval crosses that once punctuated the landscape of Cheshire. Repurposed centuries ago, its shaft cut away, it now bears a sundial, turning what was once a holy emblem into a marker of passing time. I can't help but see the poetry in that transformation. A cross that once proclaimed eternity, now reduced to measuring of hours and shadows. A sermon in stone, if ever there was one. As you wander the paths, notice the layering of lives and generations. A family vault with carved railings. A weather-worn slab that no longer yields its name to the curious eye. Children, parents, lovers, strangers, they rest together in a quiet democracy of the grave. If you stand still, just at dusk, when the light slants across the uneven stones and the church tower looms like a great archway to the heavens, you may feel that mingling of the past and present that only such places can conjure. The silence here is never empty. It's filled with memory, faith, and the slow turn of the centuries. So next time you pass through Sandbach, pause at St Mary's. Step beneath the gaze of its strange tower. Trace with your fingers the patterns of stones carved over 1,000 years ago. Let your eyes wander across the patchwork of gravestones. Names fading, but never fully gone. Linger for just a moment by the old sundial, where an ancient cross still keeps watch, reminding us that time is both fleeting and eternal. For in this quiet Cheshire churchyard, the past has not gone. It merely sleeps. Beneath the grass, beneath the stones, just waiting for someone to notice.